Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen, MikeColleen.com, and today we're going to talk about Mercury in retrograde because today it just went into retrograde. There is a website you can go to. It's called ismercuryinretrograde.com. Yeah, one word, ismercuryinretrograde.com. Okay, so here's the deal. Most people, I used to be one of them, I admit. I used to freak out. I would because I hated it because God, it seemed like everything went freaking wrong. But the more I learned non-attachment and how to go with the flow, things started to get really easy. For example, your computers, your electronics, things get glitchy. They get stuck. You have to restart them. You have to, even with a brand new computer, like my computer's a year old, and every time we go to retrograde, it's a year and 3 months old. It would get glitchy and this and that would happen. Like, what's going on? In fact, today things have been glitchy. Okay. So, in fact, just working on these last couple of videos, this damn thing wouldn't get mad. It wouldn't record the audio. So they got the video, but there's no audio. Like, well, what's going on here? So here's what I learned. I'm going to give you some really positives about this. This is the part that most people don't know about. That's the point of this video. So let me give you the first part. What I learned is, let's say I had to call Apple because my computer was glitchy and it's Mercury's in retrograde and they're stressed out too, because that's what Mercury does. It kind of ping pongs you around. But when you learn how to ground yourself, it doesn't ping. But when you're up in your head, you're already off balance. So it's almost like it grabs that energy like a string or rope and it jerks you around. But when you're down and grounded, it doesn't jerk you around because you're grounded and solid. All right, you're balanced. So, yes, I teach people how to do that, okay? That is a very cool thing to learn. It takes practice, it takes times and a series of techniques that I walk you through, but eventually you will get there. All right, so let's go back to Mercury retrograde. So here's what I learned. Number one, to literally breathe and to allow. Again, allowing is something that I teach in my course. You just allow it to be the way it is. Instead of fighting it, you go with it. For example, so my computer's glitching. I used to call Apple saying, "Oh, my computer's glitchy. Why is it doing this?" And then they're already frustrated because they've dealt with other customers that are going through it, and it's affecting their head unless they're a very grounded person, right? So what I've learned to do is I'll just be okay with it. Like, it's just where my computer's at today, and that's fine, and I'm okay with it. And I'll go for a walk, or I'll go to the next project, or I'll whatever it is I'm doing, right? Let's say I do call Apple. And I notice the person is stressed out. Well, my first thought is Mercury's in retrograde. They're probably stressed because of that. Their computer's probably having problems. And they're dealing with other people that are like, because Mercury retrograde, it puts you in your head and you're like, you're just like, it's horrible. So I'm like, you know what? And I just let them talk. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Thanks. Is there anything else? No, I'm good. So I hang up the phone because if they're, it's like, I'm not going to get caught up in the argument. I'm not going to do it. It's not worth it. So here's what I'm saying is, you're right. Things will get glitchy. Things will go wrong. And you just expect it and you just be okay with it. I literally got a flat tire twice during Mercury in retrogrades. And I was like, man, hey, this is the way it is. We're not going to be able to make the meeting. I call up and say, hey, got a flat tire, right? Trying to think of another example. So just go with the flow when Mercury's in retrograde. Another thing you need to know is about 5 days, maybe a week or so before Mercury in retrograde, it's starting to attract that energy, that kind of sketchy kind of energy, right? Skittish energy, I'll call it. And then you get to Mercury. So it doesn't start like exactly on the day that Mercury goes into retrograde. It starts a couple of days before at least. And then there's something called the shadow of Mercury in retrograde. So it may last as long as 7 days or 10 days after. Now, it's getting less and less each day after Mercury comes out of retrograde, but you're still going to have a pretty good effect of it, okay? So just be like, hey, that's where we're at right now, okay? So I used to get really stressed with Mercury in retrograde because I used to fight it. Now I'm just like, I just go with it. If Mercury says go left, I go left. If it says go right, I go right. Just like surfing, man. All right, now here's the positive. This is going to shock you. Especially for those of you who've been watching my channel because of narcissist abuse. I know you don't want to hear this. There is a chance your narcissist will come back around to hoover you, to apologize. Here's another aspect. Whether it's the narcissist or someone else, there's a very good chance that they're going to come around and you're going to get a sense of completion with this. Even if it's just the last time you talk to them, they still want to be like, no, no, no. You're going to get, it's like they're going to come back around and you're going to learn something, or you're going to see something from a completely different perspective. That's what happened with my last narc. I just was like, whoa, like now that I knew what a narc was and I saw the behaviors, I was like, it was almost like a fascinating scientific study. I was watching this person going, holy shit. Like they couldn't not manipulate. They couldn't not lie. They couldn't not communicate in a negative way. I realized, I literally said to myself, I was like, that's the only way that they know how to communicate with someone and to interact with people is if they go, well, technique number 1, technique number 2, manipulation number 3. It's like, and I was just like, wow, they literally can't have, and something about that, it cut the ties or something. It like completely let everything go. And suddenly I was okay with everything. So Mercury in retrograde will do things like that. They'll bring things around one more time for you to go, oh, I get it now. I understand. Oh, I see it. And then all of a sudden, everything ends in a very good way, for at least for you. Okay? So it can bring resolution back. It can bring completion. Like someone that you had an upset with a year ago or from high school, they might call you up out of the blue. It might be an ex-girlfriend. They might come back around and say, you know, I owe you an apology. They might have just learned something and had an aha moment like, oh my God, I bet that really hurt that person. And they'll call you like, hey, I'm so sorry I did that. I was young. I was dumb. I didn't see it from this perspective. Who knows what it could be? Now, here's another thing. It could be answers to questions that you've had for years will come around. You might suddenly watch a YouTube video and go, wait, what? Oh, or you might get really stressed and a memory will come up that you don't like, and then you'll have an aha moment. All right? So answers will come to you. Here's another thing. Remember, Mercury in retrograde is like things come back to you. They return. All right? It's almost like, how do they say it? It's like Mercury is going in reverse now, right? So it's coming back to you. Right? Instead of going away, now it's coming back, right? Answers will come to you, and believe it or not, this is going to sound freaking funny, money. In fact, I'm going to grab something. I thought I had thrown this thing away, and I realized a year later I really wanted to watch it. It's a series of videos that I bought a long time ago that came in this pouch thing, this Ziploc, or not Ziploc, but it came back to me. And it came back to me during Mercury in retrograde, because before that I was looking all over the place. And I have a small place. It's not very big. And I'm like, where the fuck is it? And I'm like, man, you know what? You threw it away, Mike. You know you did. And I don't know if this was some spiritual thing, but it was like right there. And I was like, wait, you got to be kidding me. So things will come back to you. That's pretty much it. So here's my point. For a lot of you who have broken up, who've gotten rid of narcissists, I know you're probably going, oh no! Or maybe there's something from childhood, from your family, from a friend from middle school, a friend you grew up with, maybe someone in the military. You might get a letter in the mail. You might get a phone call. They might knock on your door. Something might happen. And it'll give you a sense of resolution to where now you're finally complete with it. And if I didn't already say it, I do want to say this. You can get learnings from Mercury in retrograde. It's going to, a lot of times it brings back lessons for you to go over again, and then you finally get it. And that's Mercury in retrograde can be an extremely positive thing if, number one, you go with the flow and you constantly remind yourself, wait a minute, the computer's glitching. It's Mercury in retrograde. So just shut it down, restart it, walk away, start doing this. You're at the gas station and the clerk's being a dick. So you're like, no, Mercury's in retrograde. Just be okay with it and just walk away. All right. The other thing is when things come back to you, no, it's because you're about to complete something. You're about to finally get the answer that you've wanted for years. You're going to finally get the resolution and you're going to get the answers. Money can come back to you. There's a video I watched of this older guy who, it's a long story. I don't want to go into it. But basically, ultimately, he found a bank account that he completely forgot about. And the interest in the money had gone up and up and up over the years. And he was homeless. and he found it's a long story. The police got involved trying to help him with something totally different, and they're like, "Oh my God, you got this bank account?" It's like, "Wait, what?" And so he had all this money. He went from homeless and poor to, "Oh my God, I got some money." It wasn't like millions of dollars, but it was a good chunk of money, by the way. And so things like that will happen. And in my case, stuff like this will happen. It'll come back. Okay, God bless you guys. I love you to death. Remember, Mercury retrograde isn't always a bad thing. It really is how you deal with it. If you allow things to be glitchy, allow customer service to be argumentative, and don't even slam the phone. Just allow them. In fact, do this. Breathe 2, 3, or 4 or 5 times while they're talking to you, and allow them to talk to you. And when they're done, say, "Okay, thank you." Because don't, like, instead of going, "I got to get the computer fixed," just like, "You know what? I'm going to take a break. Say, thank you very much. I'll call back later," or "Thank you for your help," and just go with the flow, baby. Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. God bless you. I have a gut feeling this Mercury in retrograde, I have a feeling a lot of you, it's actually going to be a very positive experience. It may be a little painful as you get to it, and then pop, you're going to be like, I really think it's going to bring a lot of relief, joy, and happiness. For some of you, some money. God bless you guys. Click subscribe if you haven't already. I'm almost at 1,000, so damn close. And click the like button. Bye.